Good evening. I'm Jenny Sparandera. I'm the director of the Job Opportunity Investment Network, or JOIN, and I'm delighted to welcome you to our night of Ignite Talks. Thank you so much for joining us. A lot of the times, the way we try to figure out what's happening is by going to conferences, right? So we find ourselves in rooms like this, and there's a panel, or there's a speaker, there's a keynote, and I spend all this time kind of circling parts of the agenda, trying to figure out where am I gonna go. And I get so excited, okay, I'm gonna learn something at this conference. This is gonna be great. And then, we just never really get there, right? The speaker is too high level, or trying to cram every single thing they ever learned into a presentation. The panel just maybe skates across the surface of the things I really wanna know. And it's pretty frustrating, right? And it leaves us kind of wondering, well, what do we do next? And yet, in the hallway, where I can corner the person who's giving the presentation, or hear more about the specific part that kind of resonates with our work, I do feel like I learned something. So tonight is our attempt to try to have a bunch of different hallway conversations, to share the microphone with folks who were willing to share some of their expertise around kind of specific, maybe more narrow topics than we usually get, but in a way that's really pithy, interesting, and full of news that we can use.
Public perception is that manufacturing career pathways are somewhat less than. It's a dirty industry. That's no longer true, but people don't seem to understand that. We know that the technical competencies require solid math and reading skills. And we know that the incoming students are often woefully underprepared for the requirements of college. It's not only educators who need to keep standing. We all need to in order to build the workforce of tomorrow.
What we know is that if members are going to be successful with us and over the long haul, it's going to require a real shift in their identity and their sense of purpose. And that shift will lead to changes in their attitudes about what's important and the behaviors they need to embrace in order to be successful.
When it comes to staying in Philadelphia, 71% of students who have had an internship in the region stayed after graduation. They get the experience and personal network that they need to be the total package for an employer and want to be close or in a major city because that's where the action is.
You know, when you hear apprenticeship, what do you think of? You think of the trades, you think of construction, like I need a plumber, I hope he has apprentices. You don't think healthcare. Well, we discovered that that's not the case.
Scale by itself is nothing. You need impact as well if you want to achieve the social good that you're after. It seems a no-brainer, but I found it an important reminder that as we're scaling, we may need to think differently about our impact.
What is the criteria of you chasing, say, just a term, an expression, for the sectors of which you wish to pull people for apprenticeships there?
We like to view everything as a step on a career pathway. So in other words, you might go in and learn how to be a behavioral health tech, and then you could advance to different levels of therapy or combination, different higher job levels, higher education levels, etc. So it's all stuff where we feel there's a growth potential, but at that low level, it would be helpful to have training and credentialing on one site.
To post on our site for employers, it's free. To obtain our resources, it's free. Workshops are free, etc.
And then we think it's that important that people have that toehold before they get in, because we're losing too many people who just can't get over that hurdle in the typical developmental courses.
Other questions?